In Marathon County leads to calls to police for help, but did law enforcement just make the situation worse? Fox 11 Investigates reporter Mark Leland has been digging deeper into this case, which involves two drivers from our area, and Mark is here this morning, and your investigation is raising some new questions.
Certainly is. This particular case made big headlines about road rage more than a year ago, but one driver was credited with holding off would-be road rage attackers with a gun. One of those attackers is now facing trial, but the charges stem not from the road rage, but what happened after 911 dispatchers put the angry parties together.
We have a car that's being disgruntled on the road. It just hit us.
Two drivers traveling along Highway 29 near Wausau, and each driver has a different story to tell, claiming to be the victim of road rage.
They sideswiped my car. I'm eastbound on 29.
I don't believe they're relevant to the case at hand. We're here because the defendant got out of his vehicle and attacked Mr. Van Patter in a parking lot.
Nick Flanagan of Menominee, Michigan is facing trial in Marathon County Court for a run-in with Scott Van Patter of Appleton. That run-in followed the road rage incident that left both of their cars damaged. They were each instructed by 911 dispatchers to go to a Menards parking lot to wait for police. But did those 911 dispatchers make a mistake putting two drivers involved in road rage together?
I mean, it could have been a volatile situation.
Sure. I mean, it certainly sounds like it was a volatile situation. But
Is that an ideal situation to put one of your officers in?
well, ideally, we like to keep people separate, especially if there's some sort of controversy or argument going on.
But 911 operators didn't do that. The Marathon County Sheriff's Department staffs the 911 dispatch. Both drivers were clearly upset and angry when making their calls for help, and they say they feared for their lives.
That situation scared me. It scared me to death.
Did 911 dispatchers make the right call?
Looking back, is there something that they should have done perhaps differently in this case?
Well, if you look at hindsight and determine,
Sheriff's Captain Dale Wisniewski points out both drivers ignored dispatcher directions to lock their doors and wait for police.
unfortunately, the responsibility has to go back to them, that they disregarded what they were told to do.
As a result of the scuffle in the parking lot, Flanagan is now awaiting trial on battery and disorderly conduct charges.
Now, Flanagan says he was offered a plea deal in the case, replacing the charges with just a small fine, but he maintains he was just protecting himself against someone he says tried to run him off the road.
And why has no one been charged then with the road rage?
Yes, there is no independent witnesses actually who can say which driver is to blame in the road rage incident there on the highway, but we discovered Van Patter actually has a history of driving incidents, and the judge in this case is going to allow testimony from one other pending road rage case involving Van Patter, where a motorcyclist says he was deliberately run off the road by Van Patter. All this is trying to show that Flanagan was just defending himself, that there's a pattern here.
Okay, and what about the 911 operators? Will there be a review of the procedure of how it was handled?
It was kind of interesting because even the judge in the case says there's questioned the logic in sending two motorists who were obviously upset with each other to the same location. The Sheriff's Department, though, they say they had expected police to be there when the drivers arrived, but that didn't happen, of course, raising the issue now, once again, clearly from the judge, that perhaps they need to take another look at this.
And what about the issue of the gun?
Yes, we pointed out there was a gun involved in this. Van Patter had a gun in his car and used it to actually hold off Flanagan and another individual in the other car. We've uncovered new information about Van Patter's concealed carry permit that conflicts with what he told police at the time, and we'll have much more on that and the rest of the story coming up tonight on Fox 11 News at 5 and 9.
We'll be watching for that. Thanks, Mark.